What's up, guys? So I'm here at the Istanbul airport. I got dropped off here yesterday by Turkish Airlines on board their 777. Today I'm making my way to Los Angeles on board their 787. Anyways, let's go in. I don't need to get checked in this time because I already have my boarding pass from yesterday. And yeah, let's just go in, get past security, and check out the airport.
Operating since 2018, the newly built Istanbul airport replaced the Lavatory airport as Turkey's new flagship airport.
The security checks are even before the check-in desks. It's pretty interesting.
With a total cost of about $12 billion, Istanbul Airport is set to be the world's biggest airport by passenger traffic by 2025.
There's no public Wi-Fi unless you have a phone number. So I'm essentially internetless for the next couple of hours. Boom, Scareport. Alright, so made it through check-in, or made it through security. And right after you make it past security, there are the check-in desks. But as I said earlier, don't need to check in because I already have the boarding pass. The 2-hour and 45-minute line at the Indira Gandhi airport allowed me to skip today's line.
As of 2023, being the largest infrastructure project in the history of the Turkish Republic, construction was planned to be completed in 4 phases. Once all the phases of the airport are operational, the facility is expected to achieve a capacity of 200 million passengers. This airport is also the first in Turkey and the second in Europe to operate 3 independent parallel runways.
So many security checks here. Anyways. Let's make it through this one and start our favorite game. Alright, so made it through security twice and already got the boarding pass, so let's begin our favorite game. Airport or Scareport.
Alright, so one of the very first things that caught my attention was this free Wi-Fi kiosk.
I might have free Wi-Fi after all. Let's try this out.
After scanning your passport, you could choose between 1 hour of free Wi-Fi or alternatively, you could purchase a Wi-Fi package. I should have probably checked how much the Wi-Fi package costs, but I didn't because I suck at reviewing airports.
And we have Wi-Fi. Boom. +1. Airport.
The next thing staring at me was the duty-free section, where you could get the usual duty-free shopping items: alcohol, tobacco, chocolate, etc. Then there were the assortment of shops lining the hallways of this concourse, mostly fashion designer brands. And also there were a few novelty shops like this Lego store.
Alright guys, so I want you to stick here with me for just a few minutes longer. There were a lot of shops here at the Istanbul airport. We're just going to cover all of them, which is just going to take a minute or two, so just stick with me here.
There was this section of the concourse that was themed like an old bazaar, where you could find all sorts of Turkish items, not just foods, but clothes, kitchenware, and other things too. This area definitely gave a lot of flair to what could have otherwise been a boring and bland concourse.
Alright, so covered most of the shops at that end of the terminal. Now, I'll make my way to that end of the terminal and see what's over there.
Yep, you guessed it, a lot more shops. Unlike some other airports with tons of shops that feel very bland and lifeless, the Istanbul airport is drenched with Turkish design aesthetic, giving the place a very vibrant feel.
+1. Airport.
There's a hotel here. Not too surprising, many airports have this. But get this, there was also a hairdresser and a dental clinic inside the airport.
There's a dental health clinic at the airport. Damn.
Next, it was time to get some breakfast. The food court here featured a variety of different familiar fast food options to choose from.
There's a Burger King here. Yeah. Let's see if they have the Impossible Burger though.
Unfortunately, they did not have the Impossible Burger, and I ended up getting Sparrow's Pizza instead.
There are more American food options here than in most airports in the United States.
Now, fast food aside, there are plenty of local cafes spread across the terminal. Also, if you feel like having a full meal, there are plenty of restaurants here to choose from as well.
+1 airport.
Hydration stations and restrooms are also present throughout the terminal.
Drinking water, better than coffee. +1 airport.
There are plenty of sculptures and artworks on display across the concourse, and there is also a museum inside the airport.
+1 airport.
Plenty of places to charge electronic devices can also be found across the terminal. Decent amount of seating is also present, allowing for areas of privacy, and there's an area with larger seats to stretch out and take a nap.
+1 airport.
Courtesy of these windows that span from floor to ceiling, there are some decent views to the flights outside. Also, that relaxation area, well, it was incorporated in a way that you can stretch out and get some views of the flights.
+1 airport.
Alright guys, so our total tally comes out to 7 for airport and 1 for Scareport, making Istanbul International officially an airport.
As I made my way to the boarding gates, I noticed a couple of things. First was this airport-themed kids playing area, which I wanted to showcase here. Also, there were more restaurants and cafes by the departure gates as well. I then made my way to gate D9, where the flight to Los Angeles would be departing from. At the departure gate, I noticed that there were a few puzzles scattered around, which was kind of cool. Eventually, it was boarding time for the 15-hour flight ahead. Boarding was very organized and done in zones. After the final boarding pass scan, we made our way towards the 787 that would take us across the planet to the west coast of the United States. Once inside the aircraft, I made my way towards the seat for the day, seat 32A. And as you see, already not a great start. The seat on board this Turkish 787 features a decent amount of padding, also a good amount of knee room and leg space as well. As we saw earlier, there was a stain on the seat which could not be wiped off. Also, as you see here, the seat back pocket was torn as well, making it basically unusable. The seat back pocket barely contained an air sickness bag and the flight safety information card. Staged at every seat was a pair of headphones, a pillow, and a blanket. The seat featured a modern entertainment system which housed the headphones plug and a USB-C and USB-A charging outlet. Other features of the seat included a coat hook, a seat recline function, and a fully adjustable headrest. Overhead panels consisted of individual AC vents and individual reading lights. The seatback tray on board this 787 was slightly more compact than on board other aircrafts. Also, it felt a little springy. The inside armrest had no space between the cabin wall and the armrest itself, which was interesting, but as I had the whole row to myself, space was not a concern on board this flight. It was then time to leave this wonderful airport and make our way westward. Shortly after takeoff, the crew came around handing out an amenity kit and the menu for the flight. Designed by Mandarina Duck, the amenity kit contained slippers, earplugs, eye mask, a pair of socks, a toothbrush, toothpaste, and a lip balm, which, to be honest, was my favorite piece in the kit, as dry lips on board long flights is always something that irked me. After some time in the air, our first meal on board was served. Items included in the tray were a piece of bread, what seemed like butter but didn't taste like it, a bowl of hummus, salad, an olive oil and lemon dressing for the salad, and a chocolate mousse for dessert. The utensils that came along were all silverware, and along with the utensils came a pack of salt and pepper, and the Turkish Airlines TK-1933 scented towelette. The main course was this pasta, which honestly tasted pretty good. The lavatory on board this Turkish 787 was pretty aesthetically pleasing. The sink, although wide, just like this review, was fairly shallow. Amenities included a hand soap, eau de cologne, and a bottle of hand sanitizer. The soap container did not contain soap, as the soap was in a bottle next to the sink. What I did like is that this lavatory had a foot-operated trash can. Other fixtures included an ashtray, a magnifying mirror, a baby changing station, a coat hook, another coat hook just in case you wanted to take your pants and shirt off, and this sensor-operated flush, which, when I tried, the sensor did not work, and the button had to be pressed in order to use the flush. Other amenities included napkins, tissues, and toilet seat covers. Similar to the Turkish 777, the 787 lavatory also featured security seals. Overall, a pretty compact but tidy and aesthetic lavatory on board this Turkish Airlines Dreamliner. After checking out the lavatory, I made my way back to the seat, and then it was time to check out the entertainment system. The entertainment system on board this Turkish 777 contained a decent selection of movies and TV shows from across the world, a modest array of music content, handful of games, and a few live TV channels were also present. There was also a kids section with a variety of kids content. The My Flight section consisted of a flight tracker and forward and downward facing cameras. The Discover section had information about Turkish Airlines and Istanbul, and finally a More section where you could find the Holy Quran, delightful stories, and a variety of other content such as podcasts, audiobooks, and also a feedback survey that could be completed on board. Wi-Fi was available on board, and passengers could choose between 3 packs: a chat pass for $5, a 100 MB internet pass for $8, a 250 MB internet pass for $15, and an unlimited internet pass for the duration of this 15-hour flight for $35 US. Passengers who were Turkish Airlines Miles and Smiles members were extended the courtesy of a free chat pass or a 400 MB or 250 MB internet pass depending on your status tier with the Miles and Smiles program. The cabin lights were then dimmed so passengers could get some rest, and at about this time I decided to stretch out and walk around. In the galley area, drinks and snacks were laid out so passengers could grab them at their convenience. Snacks included a sandwich and a vanilla cake. The sandwich was vegetarian friendly, featuring cheese, peppers, and lettuce. A few hours before landing, we were served the second and final meal of this 15-hour flight. The tray contained a salad, a pudding for dessert, a piece of bread, a pack of butter, and a pack of jam. The utensils that came along with the meal were once again silverware, and as before, a pack of salt and pepper, and this Turkish Airlines TK1933 custom-scented refresher towelette came along in the utensils pack as well. For drinks, I got myself a Coke and some water. The main course consisted of a ham sandwich and an omelette. Being a vegetarian, I just took out the piece of ham and enjoyed the rest of the meal. A bottle of water was also handed out after the trays were cleared. We eventually made our way above the beautiful landscape of California and prepared for landing.
Turkish Airlines 787 Dreamliner. The hard product. It was decent. As you saw, the seats were dirty and the seat back pockets were kind of ripping. But to be fair, that was just the specific seat that I was in. The seats next to me in the row I was in, the seat back pockets seemed to hold up fine and the seats were not stained. That aside, the seat itself and the legroom was pretty good. I personally didn't love the Dreamliner as much as about an hour or two after takeoff. The windows were locked off in the darkest setting, meaning I couldn't brighten the windows and get some footage of the views from above. But to be fair, if I wasn't making these YouTube videos, I think I would mind that a bit less, and it would be kind of cool to be able to still see out the window while still maintaining a dark cabin. Now, the soft product. The meals were pretty good, and the cabin crew was friendlier than the 777, but overall definitely not as warm or personal as on board Qatar, Emirates, and Etihad. Overall, seeing that the cost for Turkish Airlines is pretty much similar to the other Middle Eastern carriers, it's hard to justify a recommendation for Turkish Airlines over another Middle Eastern carrier, as the value just isn't there in either the hard product or the soft product. But compared to other European airlines, Turkish Airlines can definitely provide a pretty decent value, especially if it's at a similar cost. Anyways guys, I'd love to hear from you guys now. What have your experiences on board Turkish Airlines been like? Would you recommend them to someone? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you like content like this, then consider subscribing, as I'll be releasing weekly videos of airlines from around the world. Anyways guys, as always, I hope you found this video either helpful or entertaining, and I'll see you on the next one.